Hello, today is Monday, July 20th. I do have some updates about Paul. Not all of it is good. On the good side, his energy is improving every day and he's actually walking anywhere from a mile to a mile and a half. We try to go each evening if the weather is nice. And he has good days and bad. Some days he'll be fairly energetic and it's great, and then other days he's just kind of wiped out and will go back and forth from meals to laying down to meals, and not much going on there. But the doctor assured us that that is typical, so we're not worrying about it. But it does take a lot of time, and I really do want to see him feeling better. On the bad side, back in April, Paul was scheduled to go into the dermatologist for his full skin exam, which is where the dermatologist looks at you from head to toe, and any spots that look suspicious, she will do a biopsy of. Paul has had issues in the past, but nothing serious. About a year and a half ago, he had what is called a basal cell carcinoma. And this is a non-malignant type of skin cancer. But if you don't get it removed, it just keeps growing. So he had what is called the Mohs procedure. And that's where they take out, they cut into the skin, take out a little bit, check it, see if there's any cancer. And then if there is, they go back, take out a little bit more. And it's kind of a long procedure. It takes a couple hours. Fortunately for him, they got all of it on the first pass. So that was great, and we thought we were done with it. The transplant doctor did warn us that as a post-stem cell transplant patient, that Paul will have a increased risk of skin cancer. So originally we had set an appointment long ago, before he was even diagnosed, for his annual full skin exam, and that was to happen in April. However, because of COVID, that was canceled, and I find this very frustrating because they may have caught what they found recently. Hard to say though, but let me give you the details. So what happened was the appointment then was rescheduled for July 8th, and due to the chemotherapy that Paul had prior to the stem cell transplant, he has lost all his hair, so he's bald. And I did notice a little, looked like almost a flat little scab on his scalp, which normally would have been covered over with hair. And I asked him if it was something that happened at the hospital or what, and he said, no, I think it's just a birthmark. So we went in, and one of the spots that the dermatologist was concerned with was that one, and there was another one on Paul's back. So she biopsied both of them, and we were waiting for the results. And then last Wednesday, we got the results. The one on his back is benign. The one on his scalp is melanoma. And I'm just like, are you serious? Hasn't the man been through enough? Fortunately, there's two good things about this, if you can find anything good from melanoma. First thing that is good is that it is stage 0, which means that it is just on the layer of skin. It's not any deeper, hasn't gone systemic, and there is approximately 97 to 98% chance of complete recovery. So we're grateful for that. The other silver lining in all this is that if Paul hadn't had the massive chemotherapy prior to his stem cell transplant, he would not have lost his hair, and we would not have seen this. I don't know if the dermatologist would have seen it. I'm assuming she would, but it was pretty obvious with him being bald. So if anything can be said for going bald from chemotherapy, it's that you might find something you wouldn't have seen before. Yay! Anyway, sorry to be so sarcastic, but it's very frustrating. So we called the same surgeon, dermatologic surgeon, that did the Mohs procedure on his face, and he's scheduled in for 2.5 weeks from now to get this, and they're going to do an excision rather than the Mohs procedure, which I believe is a little more involved. Don't quote me. I honestly don't know. I figure we'll ask when we get there. I just want it off of him. So, and we wanted to get in sooner. That's the soonest they could get us in. And I'm just thinking, oh my God, time, we got to get this thing before, I mean, hopefully the biopsy got the majority or all of it, but we won't know. And we are on the waiting list in case something opens up sooner, but I kind of doubt that's going to happen. So that's all set there. Bad news, very annoying. I don't understand why this man has to have this much go wrong in such a short space of time. But maybe he's going to get it all over with and be done with it forever. Paul did say that bad things come in threes, and that's the way he's dealing with this. He's dealing with it the way he always does, which is, this is bad, but let's deal with it. You know, very problem solver approach, which is great. I think that's important if you're dealing with life-threatening illnesses, to have that sort of attitude. So I'm glad for him. And as far as how I'm doing with all this, I'm continuing to make Paul's meals, take care of the house, and do all the little tasks that Paul can't do right now because he has no energy, and certain things I would not want him doing, such as most recently I climbed up on a ladder to change a light bulb. Don't want him doing that, especially because he has a history of having some dizzy spells. So anyway, I'm doing a lot of stuff that normally would be his tasks, and I'm glad to do it. I'd rather not do it, but this isn't forever, and so that's what I'm keeping in mind. I'm also feeling better. It's been about 3.5 weeks since I started the special diet that the integrative doctor put me on, and I really do feel better. I'm losing weight, which is wonderful, and I've been exercising, and I've gone back to a live ballet class. We were very socially distant. Everybody stood apart on the bars and in the center, and we all wore masks. So I feel pretty safe that everything is fine. It's the same as if I went to the grocery store, probably even better because we were much more careful about spacing being dancers. So that's good. I feel pretty good about that, and I'm very happy to be losing the weight because I really did put on a tremendous amount. I won't tell you now exactly how much I put on. When I get closer to my goal, then I'll admit it, but right now it's like horrifying. Other things that are going on, our dog Leo is coming home tomorrow. We're gonna go pick him up, and the trainer's gonna show us everything that she taught him and teach us how to continue his training. And we've made some preparations for keeping Leo apart from Paul, at least in regards to his sleeping area. We got a baby gate type thing to go in the archway between our sitting room and our foyer, because Paul's in the parlor, which is a little further to the side, and then he uses the bathroom also off the foyer. So we got this baby gate that has an actual gate that you can open, and so we're going to have that up, and that way Leo will be able to access the backyard, the kitchen, the basement, the dining room, and the sitting room. He likes to sit in his dog bed while we're watching TV, and so it's going to be a lot better than when I was cleaning and we were confined just to the kitchen, basement, and backyard. That was really awful and really hard for both of us. So I think Leo's going to be a lot happier having a little more space. I don't think that I've ever talked about what actually went on during cleaning week. Everything just got crazy, and I was actually planning to video some of the process, but that was the time when Leo got injured at the local doggy daycare, and he had that wound on his neck, and this was when I was planning on having him go to the training program so that he would be out of the house so I could get everything done that needed to be done, and then he couldn't go because he had this gaping hole in his neck. So that was a big challenge. So I think I will do a separate video, and I'll go day by day on what we did and how I worked it with Leo and how it all turned out, which actually turned out pretty well. And then I did another portion of a video of the cleaning products. I just have to put that into an actual video, and I will share that after this one. So that's what's going on. For future, we have the first week of August is going to be a crazy, kind of awful week. Starting with the first Monday in August will be our routine hospital appointment that Paul goes to every Monday down at the University of Chicago. Tuesday, he will go in and get that urinary stent taken out, which he cannot wait to get rid of. And so he'll be a little gaga from the anesthetic there. Wednesday will be a sort of a recovery day. And Thursday will be his usual lab day. And then on the Friday, that first week of August, on August 7th, that's when he's going to go in and he'll have the melanoma on his scalp removed. So that's going to be a little bit crazy. Once that's all done, he will be getting closer to day 100 post-transplant. The transplant doctor does want to do another bone marrow aspiration and biopsy. So that's going to be around August 17th. And then August 21st is day 100 for Paul, which is a great landmark for him. So we're going to be a little busy in August. Paul actually is talking about figuring out when he wants to go back to work. He will want to work from home, and he will have to explain to his boss that midday he'll probably have to take a rest, which his boss is totally on board with from when they've talked before. And also one of Paul's co-workers had the MDS like Paul had. She didn't have the lymphoma, but she had MDS, and so she was able to work with a modified schedule. So thankfully his boss is very understanding about that, and I'm sure he's anxious to have him get back to work. So Paul will be working from home. We're going to set up a home office in Kristen's old bedroom, and there, you know, obviously her bed is in there and there's a nice desk, and he'll be able to do his work and then rest there as he needs to. So things are, for the most part, positive. We did have this minor setback, but we're dealing with it, and that's all you can do. When it happens, it feels like you're kicked in the gut, because you ask yourself, why? Why us? Why all the time? All cancer all the time. But I think we're going to get past it, and I look forward to the day when cancer is just a distant, faint, awful, sucky memory. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.